All right, so there's a lot of times that people are walking around, and if you're ever kind of curious on just when does it happen, how do you know? Um, if you're ever sort of like in a store or talking with friends or looking at something, now anything that is the first thing that strikes you as something that's a rare, but also happens all the time, is usually the two ingredients that are you need to figure out how it's supposed to be funny. Now, also you need to imagine that you got to make something 100% not you, borrow some other guy's body about a what if, and then make a lie about his life, and then say that's you. One time, this is what happened to me. Take those strings, attach them to some stars in the sky, and your predicament of something that was ironic suddenly begins to have life. Now, once you have them placed on the stars in the sky about someone else's life that isn't yours, it is your job to take on their body. There is no you anymore. The gift was that you noticed an infraction. You noticed the strange, this is rare but also very common equation. Noticing is the gift. That's the part where you're borrowing it in the twinkling of the stars gave you a message that somebody is having this problem somewhere. Noticing is the beginning. That means that by the time that you go to in front of your camera to deliver on your Facebook page, when you go to deliver, that full-bodied character is going to be given a name inside your chest, and you're going to take on some fool's problem. From start to finish, there's trillions of people in the world. He's somewhere, and he's going to harbor you. And you're going to just walk through the motions and say, this happened to me last week. This happened to me last month. I know how to avoid this. I know how to always get what you want when you do this. Anything that's like, you know your joke, you know what the problem is, and then you've already said what it is, how it's supposed to end up in your head. So when you know what the ending is, try to imagine if you were the star of a dinner party at some mansion and you're given a red sweater vest and you need to impress your blonde dinner date in a white silk dress, and everybody's waiting for you to be super, super, super funny. Now, because you're wealthy and you have to, because you got to win over this girl's heart, you're going to pump as hard as you can at that dad at the end of the table, because he doesn't even know what he's missing. And he's never seen anything like you before. And he's just one dad. And how many dads have you ever found that didn't like you because you're the star of your own show? And he already has figured out that you're not knee deep in shit, so you're already a winner. He's just playing like he doesn't like you. And so that's your best bet going. So all you have to do is do anything but loudly, and he's going to like it. And that's your opportunity, because he's also a lot wealthier than you are, and he can give you a lot of stuff. Now, like the movie industry, for instance, that's getting rebuilt since he has a secret lifestyle. And he knows people, so when they're rebuilding the second Hollywood, I know somebody. All you had really going for you was an interview with an acting coach that was actually going to make a new lead star for the next movie, but not today, not tomorrow, but maybe next year. And that's why you were so comfortable. You were wondering why you were just so overly confident. Because if they got money, then they know where they're going to put the next Hollywood. And you were actually in an interview. And guys that don't have their legs in shit know that interviews is the funnest and most easiest thing in the whole universe. So you were just basically having an interview and doing what you do at interviews, but you were really in front of some guy. Some guy that's your girlfriend's dad. And that's what, in a sense, if you're trying to do your Facebook And you're trying to think, well, how am I supposed to do this? Imagine you're at a dinner party. It's just one dude. It's not 100 people. It's not even a girl. You can get girls left and right. That's easy. It's just a dad. It's no big deal. And then just hit it. Just be like, maybe you haven't met me yet. And that's basically sort of the long end and the short end of how are you going to do a comedy sketch? How are you going to do a comedy routine? Is if it comes to your mind, that's the gift. Because nobody else is getting it. If it's a fraction, if it has a definite point of irony, now you already know some of the jokes that I said, so you're just like, yeah, that is sort of ironic. Man, you make a fake layout story behind it. And you just put that board game underneath the pieces, and then you believe it, and that makes you somebody that is already a part of a new government project of creating another Hollywood that has billions of dollars already paid for, and you'll be walking around, and that set that you're seeing in your own mind is actually a camera crew walking around.